All right, guys, and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for my second live review tonight. Well, technically fourth of this entire day within the last 24 hours because of my glitches with SmackDowns last night. But yeah, we are live here for this late night review of this week's episode of NXT, the January 23rd, 2019 edition of NXT, and the Go Home show as well for NXT Takeover Phoenix, which takes place this Saturday at 7 o'clock on the WWE Network. I will be watching that. As of now, I'm watching that alone, and I'm planning on doing two live reactions for that video. What's going on, Mark? Good to see you in the live chat, buddy. So stay tuned for those. And overall, that was a strong go home show. I mean, not the strongest go home show I see because again, last week's show felt like it had some stuff to do with Takeover. But it also seemed that it was kind of that show that it felt like a show that should be taking place after a takeover or something like that. This one still kind of felt like that in some ways, but it did have some stuff that did feel like it was a go home show. I felt as well. So a couple of things could have been changed a little bit. I felt, but it was still a strong go home show for sure, especially that last segment for sure, which we will talk about that as well, and how I still feel about Johnny Gargano, if he was full fledged or not, as I'm just feeling it, but not quite feeling. I can't. We'll get to that in a little bit again. Mark says, I could see Kairi Sane and Io Shirai becoming tag team champions when it comes to the main roster. That could happen if they are building them up to be that, but we'll talk about that, of course, later on. But we'll get into this live review really quick here. The show opens up. We see Ricochet walking into the building. Johnny Gargano pretty much called him out for a face-to-face confrontation last week after he beat Humberto Carrillo, 205 Live superstar. And then the Velveteen Dream comes out. This is the first time I believe we have seen Velveteen Dream since Takeover War Games. Might be the case. I think he did miss the last set of tapings due to the what's it called now? Due to that viral infection going around apparently. So he was not there. So Velveteen Dream makes his return again. It's his first time appearing since his match with Tommaso Ciampa at Takeover War Games 2. And he starts talking by saying he's got a sparkle in his eye or something special in his sights. Correct him if he's wrong, but the dream waits for no man. But if they really knew him, they know the sparkle is a sparkle of championship gold. More specifically, the North American champion. So it's time. High time for the dream. Who then gets interrupted by Undisputed Era's Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. Cole tells Dream to pump the brakes because everybody knows that 2019 will be the year of the Undisputed Era, and they're going to capture not one, not two, but all the gold that NXT has to offer. O'Reilly and Strong are busy getting ready for another successful defense against the War Raiders on Saturday, but they're here without any gold to speak of. He and Bobby don't like showing up empty-handed, though, so very soon they'll have gold around their waists. Velveteen Dream can continue to dream on. Bobby shames Dream for getting the people's hopes up and tells him he's got to learn to live in reality because 2019 will continue to be their era. That, of course, is undisputed. Velveteen then says he's ready to dispute that claim, in fact, but only if it's okay with Adam. Fish then heads to the ring. Dream passes him, and Cole to the floor and backs up on the ramp before they can attack, leaving them jawing at each other. And it was announced that the main event match would be Velveteen Dream and Bobby Fish. So I think tomorrow I will just go make it official and say the Velveteen Dream is a babyface. Yeah, it feels like he's still kind of like a heel, but in some, maybe not complete babyface. I mean, he's always felt more of like a tweener because yes, he is arrogant, he is cocky. But I also feel that, again, he can at least admit to the crowd that, they're behind him. Like, it feels like, the Velveteen Dream is like embracing that the crowd is behind him and what he's embracing that. And it's kind of like that character where he's where he's basically just doing what he would normally do, except he's doing it to the villains now. because I thought first that was when he was doing, when he started feud with Tommaso Ciampa, but I just wanted to wait to be sure it wasn't just him he was doing that with. But of course, now what he's doing now, I think it's safe to say that WWE has transitioned Velveteen Dream more to a babyface role, since Johnny Gargano is in this tweener heel role, which we'll talk about that, of course, towards the end of this video, on why I'm still not yet gonna do the turn alert, even though I was this close to saying, let's do it. Let's finally do the turn alert and say Johnny Gargano has fully embraced the dark side and is a full-fledged heel. But of course, something happened that made me change my mind on that. But I think tomorrow I will safely say, Velveteen Dream, you're officially more of a baby face right now. So of course we will get to that, talk about that more tomorrow. Let's see here. Mark says, I wonder if Candace hadn't stopped him, would he have shook his hand? Which that's what we're all wondering. That was a great cliffhanger, for sure. Mark also says that would be cool if Asuka, Kairi, and Io formed a faction, which would be awesome. Or, as I keep saying, they could have a match with Asuka and Kairi at least at WrestleMania 35 for the Women's Championship. I still want to see that match really bad. I'll even take Asuka and Io, or even a triple threat match. But I don't think Io's ready yet for the main roster, so I don't want to rush her up to the main roster yet. But Asuka and Kairi saying they can pull something off. Johnny and Tommaso have me confused. Are they back together? I'll get to that, of course, later on. But so yeah, the main event match with Bobby Fish and Velveteen Dream is made official for later on in the show. We did get a video package hyping up Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair, which it seems like they're trying to transition Bianca Belair more of a face role, but I don't know if that just make her a face because this is kind of a heel on heel feud with Shayna Baszler. But as I keep saying, Bianca Belair has just been just a cocky in this winning matches so far. So I can't say she's been a true on heel. I don't know if I can say she's a true face yet either. I want to see what else she does besides, her match with Shayna Baszler and where that goes down the same. But I feel like, she should fully transition to a baby face to help her develop a little bit more of a character. We'll talk about that, of course, tomorrow, though, in my TakeOver Phoenix predictions. I want to do that in my Rumble predictions tomorrow as well. We also get a recap of Cassius Ohno's victory over Keith Lee and having Matt Riddle running in afterwards to scare off Cassius Ohno, and then it's made official that we will get Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle at TakeOver Phoenix. So technically the third match between those two. So we'll see what goes down with that match. We have a fun tag match with Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan and Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel again. I'm really digging this new teaming for both NXT and NXT UK with Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. But it's a nice little feud, I guess, to get them having something else to do, on NXT as well. Again, not sure which brand they're going to get the bigger push on, but I'm very high on this team. They have great chemistry together. They work very well together. They're tough. They're quick. Again, Eichner, who they remind us was in the first ever Cruiserweight Classic tournament, was still doing moves like a Cruiserweight. I think, I personally think he has future World Championship, potential in him for sure. I'm not sure about Marcel Barthel yet, but I think he could definitely be something big down the line. Also, I feel like these two just work together very well. But Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch do get a win with a schoolboy pin from Lorcan onto Fabian Eichner. So just a finish, not to make, Eichner and Barthel, the European Union, look weak, but I thought, it was a fun, back and forth tag match, and I enjoyed it. Speaking of, we didn't get the video package for Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa, which, again, I feel like, that and the North American Championship match is going to result in bitter chaos for sure, which is why, again, on Saturday, I will be doing live reactions for both of those matches on Saturday. And I still feel the North American Championship match is going to steal the show. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black has potential to do the same as well, but I think that North American Championship match is going to be the match of the night, still in my opinion. We then have Io Shirai and Kairi Sane taking on a team of Amber Nova and Tania Brooks. I guess this is also Kairi's first appearance in a while, also since she was out with the viral infection. Also, of course, this past weekend, or recently, last week or so, Dakota Kai, as I kept saying, I heard rumors she had possibly injured her ACL last month, but she finally had her ACL surgery I think it was last week or so. She's going to be out for a while, unfortunately. So she's kind of out of this whole storyline involving the Horsewoman and and um, Shayna Baszler, that stuff and whatnot. So they have this match, and pretty much was a squash match pushed over both Kyrie and Io. Again, they could be teasing them being like a tag team on the main roster, and getting run with the women's tag titles, which I'm cool with them doing that if they ever do that. But Io Shirai and Kyrie Sane, with a step up moonsault from Shirai on Tania Brooks. We then see the backstage promo afterwards of Io and Kyrie to talk about how unstoppable they are, but until Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir roll up to welcome Kyrie back from her adventures and pledge to send her out to the sea, setting up a match for next week for the Fallout show, which we'll be seeing the Forgotten Sons and the Street Profits take on each other, and we'll see Kyrie Sane and Io Shirai take on Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir as well. So it could be two interesting matches for a Fallout show, but we'll see what happens with that, of course. And then we get Bobby Fish taking on Velveteen Dream in a pretty good match again. Again, I feel like, Undisputed Era is ready. I feel like Bobby Fish still has to prove something for me, since, he kind of got, taken out of, the whole big picture for the Undisputed Era for their 2018 run. And because of his knee injury, so he was out for quite a while. So he kind of, like, to me, still feels like he's like the weak link of the Undisputed Era. But I feel like this is another match just to give him some time to showcase himself as well. Have a show of him and Adam Cole have good chemistry together. But like a couple points to put on to the match. Velveteen Dream did seem to tweak his leg or something like that, so he was hobbling on one leg at times throughout this match, and Bob Fish took advantage and put him into submissions. There was a point in the match also where Adam Cole actually pulled the rope back from Velveteen Dream's reach from not to be able to get that, to the referee getting distracted. And warning Adam Cole if he does that again, he's pretty much going to get thrown out. But then and then eventually though we do see Velveteen Dream almost get get the pin on him with a schoolboy roll up, but then he broke out of it. But then Dream did go for his Dream Valley driver at one point, but his leg did give out, so he was able to drop Bobby Fish. But then, my favorite part, this was a really nice counter by Fish. Velveteen Dream went up for the Purple Rainmaker, but then Fish pushed him off, and he countered it into the knee bar. And of course, it looked like it was about to get him to tap out again, and then Fish went out with Velveteen Dream and sent Bobby Fish out, colliding with Adam Cole. He was brought back into the ring, and in the second attempt, Dream connects with the Dream Valley driver on Bobby Fish to hit him with the Purple Rainmaker to finally get the victory in a pretty good match. Definitely to give Bobby Fish a good rub. Give Bobby Fish a pretty good rub, even though he lost. I felt he lost looking pretty strong also as well. But that's a way to give Dream a victory, going to see what else he's going to do here in NXT this year. I'm pretty sure this year at some point, he could be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble maybe, but also I definitely think after WrestleMania he will be called up to the main roster. Who knows where this is going to go for sure. He's teasing, he wants to be in the running for the North American Championship. Maybe Johnny wins on Saturday. I don't know. I'm still going to give my predictions later and see, what I think is going to happen though tomorrow for TakeOver Phoenix for sure. And then we see Johnny Gargano heading towards the arena. And then we have Ricochet coming out, get on a microphone saying 2 weeks ago, Johnny Gargano came out here and he talked about being better, but not 5 minutes later, he blindsided him with a super kick. The way he sees it, 2019 Gargano is still the same as 2018 Gargano. The only thing he did in 2018 was show the world his true colors, and he only cares about his own miserable self. But in 2018, Ricochet showed his own true colors when he won the NXT North American Championship and showed the NXT Universe that he's something Johnny is not, a champion. Johnny then comes out and says he knows what he's trying to do, and if this was 2018, he'd rush the ring like a madman. But in 2019, Johnny always has a plan. He then continues to proceed forward to talk, but then he blindsides and attacks Ricochet. They begins to brawl. Ricochet hits a pump kick that sends Johnny to the floor, but then Tommaso Ciampa came out and he attacked Ricochet from behind. Obviously, again, trying to continue the mind games and get Johnny Gargano to pretty much, fully embrace this dark side and, become Ciampa. Become what Ciampa sees is right and makes Johnny, into a monster himself. So, first, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa stare each other down. Johnny Gargano then decides to continue beating down Ricochet while Tommaso Ciampa starts clapping approval, loving to see what he's doing, turning Johnny Wrestling into Johnny Badass. But then Aleister Black comes out and he attacks Ciampa himself and beats him down in the corner. And then Gargano has a moment of hesitation after beating down Ricochet, but then he decides to help Tommaso Ciampa, and he lays out Black with a super kick. Ciampa then beats down Black while Gargano beats down Ricochet, hit him with a slingshot DDT, and then hitting the fairy tale ending, or whatever heck of Ciampa calls his finisher on Aleister Black. Ciampa then backs off, clutching his title. Gargano meets him at the base of the ramp. They just stare each other down, slowly heading up to the top. And this is where I'm thinking, okay, it's finally happening. Johnny Gargano is finally fully embracing that dark side. It's that moment I feel I can officially say, okay, Johnny Gargano is truly a heel. He's not this tweener who's just, resisting, becoming fully Tommaso Ciampa again. Going to this dark side, just, feeling he has to play a little bit dirty to get to there, but he's embracing it, feeling like he's agreeing with what Tommaso Ciampa is doing to get himself, on the top of the mountain where he feels he deserves. So then Ciampa begs off and reaches out his hand for Johnny to shake his hand. But out of the blue, this is the first time we've seen her since her match with Nikki Cross on the Fallout show from Takeover War Games, and when we saw her go to the Performance Center, not acknowledging the interviewers. Out comes Johnny's wife, Candice LeRae, and she starts yelling at Johnny, "No, don't do this. You're not doing this. This is not who you are. You're not doing this again." And Johnny backs off at her request. And that's how we went off the air. Now, I said months ago how I did not think Candice did kind of tease that dark side a little bit with her match with Nikki Cross. But I said back then that I feel Candice LeRae is going to be that foil that, I should say foil, like, that piece of hope to get Johnny Gargano back to who he was, to be the Johnny Wrestling again, and that's how he'll be the one to vanquish, Tommaso Ciampa of his nightmare. But the question is right now, will Johnny listen to his wife, or will he not? Like literally, it's like I keep saying for weeks, they keep showing things that shows that Johnny Gargano feels like more of a heel, but then he shows something type of resistance. Him and Ciampa did their whole DIY spew in the steel cage with Aleister Black. But Johnny looked like, what the heck that is. It's showing that, there's still a piece of who he really is inside of him. And tonight, it looked like he was this close to fully embracing Tommaso Ciampa's, dark side that has just become like he's become all washed up in. But then Candace stepped in and told him stop. But how long will he hold off on that? So I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see, though, as I think, I thought it was going to happen at TakeOver War Games. It did not. But if Johnny is fully going to brace this dark side, I really think it's going to happen on Saturday. But I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with his match with Ricochet. I still feel it's too soon for Ricochet to drop the title, but I don't know who to pick to win that match. So I got to think about that more. So Johnny Gargano to me is still not yet full-fledged heel. He is almost a heel, I got to say, but he's still resisting. Like if he was a heel, he would have ignored his wife tonight. So we're going to have to wait and see where this goes on Saturday. We'll have to wait and see, and I cannot wait. Again, I am going to be doing live reactions on Saturday for Ricochet and Johnny Gargano's match, which, again, I feel like that match is just going to steal the show, and Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black's match as well, because both of those matches are going to be utter chaos. And it's shaped to be a strong card, so I think we could have another really good takeover to start off this year for sure. That's how NXT, of course, goes off the air, guys. I'm going to give NXT a B+. Really strong go-home show. Again, we had some matches that felt like, somewhat squashed, not complete squash, but stuff that was a little off track. But stuff with Velveteen Dream and Undisputed Era was pretty good, and of course that ending segment also was awesome as well. So, but I'll give this a B+, a strong B+, almost an A- for NXT this week. Let's check the live chat one more time, see what Mark has to say. Let's see here. Anybody else will come up to the main roster? Do you think anyone else will come to the main roster after the Royal Rumble? Not yet. Maybe Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. Other than that, I would say no one else yet, in my opinion. But that was my possibilities there. If not, then those two are definitely, those two, Undisputed Era, WrestleMania, maybe Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. If not by WrestleMania, definitely after Money in the Bank, I'd say we see those two up there. And also Shayna Baszler, I'd say after WrestleMania as well. And I think we'll see Shayna Baszler, though, in the Women's Royal Rumble, though, come Sunday, just in my opinion. He gives NXT an A, SmackDown a B, Raw a C-. He got him hyped for TakeOver, and SmackDown got more hype for the Rumble than Raw did. Oh, for sure. And he says, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me for this late-night review, Mark. Again, tomorrow, I will at least be doing my TakeOver Phoenix predictions and my Royal Rumble predictions. If I have time, I will also do my top 10 special of the week, which will be my top 10 Royal Rumble matches of all time, in my honest opinion, of course. As I've watched all the Royal Rumble matches for sure, so I have a good idea. I can talk about those. I'll do that. Again, video game Let's Plays the next couple of days for sure, some other odds and ends. Saturday, of course, will be my TakeOver review, but I'll also going to do live reactions for both the North American Championship and the NXT Championship match. Sunday, again, if you want to see any live reactions, check out Daniel Guys' channel, because I will be at his house watching the Rumble, but I will do my Royal Rumble review when I get home that night. And then back to the normal review next week as well with, probably card predictions for Elimination Chamber. So, guys, thank you for joining me for this live review. A great review of NXT. Leave that down in the comment section below. And make sure, as always, to click my like and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at TheManAir93. Until that, guys, I will see you all later on. It's going to be a fun weekend again for us wrestling fans. But I'll see you tomorrow for my 2 preview predictions videos. And, again, possibly my special live stream of the week as well. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.